Evening, folks. Thanks for coming in. I was going to say start of another week, but it's Tuesday. Yesterday was the start of another week. It's Tuesday, so I hope you're all safe and well. We've got glorious sunshine in Scotland. I'm not rubbing into anybody, but we have got sunshine and the shorts have been on, and I'm not apologising to anybody for it. Sun's out, shorts out. That's what the motto is, you know. So right, we have a lovely young lady from the Emerald Isle.
That is me.
The Emerald Isle.
I know everyone's saying it's a long name, but it's not. It just rolls off your tongue. Emerald Isle Paranormal Researchers.
Oh, she's from the island. She's across the water. We have Jenni Sullivan. I'm not going to try and say the other name.
I only go by Jenni Sullivan. I just keep the other one because people know it. But I just go by Jenni Sullivan.
That's fine, dog, because I think I messed it up the last time, so I'm not even going to try it again.
Everyone does.
So I'm going to try it. No, I'm not going to try it.
Try it.
Sunyasi.
Yeah, kind of near. Sunyasi. Kind of.
It's Jenni's in. So she's out there, actually. Hey, Neil, buddy. Thanks for coming in.
Here's my little darling.
Jenni is the founder of Emerald Isle Paranormal Researchers and also Shadow Whisperers in the Night.
You
did. She's a very busy, lazy lady. I'm on fire tonight. I was
lazy today.
1 minute and I'm screwing it up. No, I mean,
it's going to be a good show. Let's keep going.
I'll keep trying, but I'm not going to stop. I will keep trying. So I think it's been about a year or something since you've been on.
Is it a year?
Something like that. I need to check back, but it can't be a kick in the backside off it.
Oh.
Is it? I don't know.
Last summer I would have been on. Yeah.
It's been a while. So what have you been up to since we last spoke in the paranormal? Well, I know what you've been up to, but what are you to tell me?
Okay. What I've been up to? Doing my shows, investigating, going to places, organizing new places, doing different things, a lot of things, new locations as well, which are brilliant. There's one particular new place we're going to is Ardgillan Castle, and it's about half an hour away from me, but it's a place that I used to go walking with my dogs and my children and whatnot. So we finally got into the location and it's absolutely fantastic. We will be going back in a few weeks. So that's one of our new locations. We're back out again in a few weeks. We're going to go to Hellfire Club, which we always go to. We love it. It's a bit of a trek up those mountains, but I did see a picture. I know someone said there's an easier route of going into Hellfire. And so far, every time I've been up there's no easy routes. It's all a hill. Anything that with a hill is not easy. So, and then we'll be going to Wicklow Jail with another team as well in June. And then I'll be going away over to the UK as well, to the Parameet in Midlands. That will be in June, if I'm right, Neil. Am I right? And then September and then October. So busy. I'm going to try and get the team to come over with me as well, if they can, for one of them at least. And that's it. Just keeping up to date with my podcast. And then personal life gets busy. So I'm kind of taking a little bit off of my podcast. I know I'm back on Saturday night. I'm beginning to do a lot of more roundtables, which is great fun. It's brilliant.
Where is Wicklow Jail?
That's an ongoing joke of hi Laura. Wicklow Jail. I remember I was telling Neil one night we're going to Wicklow Jail, and I was voicemailing Louise, and I mentioned something about Wexford, and I was like, "What the frick am I saying? Wicklow Jail is obviously in Wicklow." But I mentioned Wexford, and I have no idea why I mentioned Wexford. I think I was talking about another location as well. But yes, Wicklow Jail, Neil, is in Wicklow. Neil will be coming along with us there as well in June.
And the name kind of gives it away, Wicklow Jail.
Yeah, I know. But that night, I knew that question was going to come in. But it's not in Wexford. It is in Wicklow. And anybody from Ireland who's watching, don't come for me because it was a long day. So we'll be going back there in June, which is a fantastic place. I think the last time I was there was last year. I'm not too sure, but we got very interesting pictures down at the basement of the cells. So I will want to be going into one of the cells that on my own and see what happens. It is a kind of a negative of what people had gotten from it. And the picture that we picked, there was about 6 pictures taken, one after the other. And there seems to be behind me. But you'll see it coming out from my shoulder and then back in. and it comes back out and it goes out a little further. And it's not a shadow or figure or anything like that. It's lovely. Thanks, Neil. Thanks. It was kind of like, someone was saying like an ectoplasm. It was a circular shape with something inside it. I don't know what it is, but I will put the pictures up before I go back down to Wicklow jail and to see if we get it again.
It's when you get pictures or so. We've had a few pictures over the years. Through different investigations, what have you, and you look at one and then you look at it again and you think, no, it's different this time. And then you look at it again and you think, is that the same thing? The weirdest one we ever had was at Loudon-Kirk, which is nearby. It's a place we've done many, many times. And there was about 7 or 8 is there this one night with 2 of us. In the middle of the kirk, it's a headstone, it's a Celtic cross, just sits itself. And we took photographs, and everybody looked at this one photograph of this cross, and they all seen this young girl with her black hair and some kind of white dress or night, some kind of white top thing on. Okay. Everybody saw it at the same time. We were all looking at this photograph. When we looked at the photographs later on, right, she wasn't there.
She wasn't?
She wasn't there. So we never state anything's paranormal, because we don't know 100%.
Aye, that's yeah. You still all seen it at the same time.
We all seen it at the same time, and then we looked back at the photos, and I said that wee lassie's not there. What do you mean she's not? I said, there's the photo. Look, she's gone.
And just had an audio.
So she is, and we couldn't explain it.
It's the same when it comes to audio work as well. When we listen back to audio and we hear something on it, so say I had a tiny little music box, and you have to kind of twist it around yourself. You know those little round barrels and the music plays?
Aye.
So one of the guys went up to the room. This was in the Millmount Museum in Drogheda. And so he just sat there in the room by himself, and he had the music box there. He didn't hear the music box going off. But when he listened back to the recording, the audio, he could hear the music playing. So he was in the room, he has it away from him and so on. So when we listened to it, we could hear it. So it was great to hear that. When we listened to it again, it was gone. So some audio will go missing. And I know when I do audio work, and myself and Louise will listen to audio and we could hear something and it's really good. When we go back to it again, it's gone. And it happens to a lot of people that I know who does audio work. Mm-hmm. It's one of those things that it's so good that you do want to get it up and put it up and so on, but they just disappear. So it's just basically experience from it. Don't know why it happens, but it does.
I think that's one of the things that keeps us intrigued.
It does. It needs more investigation as into why they disappear when you know you had it in the first place, but they disappear after you listen to them.
Or you're on an investigation and everybody will hear the same thing, say through the necrophonic. We use the necrophonic quite a bit, which I'll come to. You're using apps and stuff, and everybody will hear the same thing. Say, I don't know. Say, for instance, someone says the wall. Everybody heard did you hear? This is the wall.
Aye.
And then when you listen back to it, it's either gone or it says something totally different. But everybody heard this at the same time, and you think, well, why did we all hear the same thing at the time? But then when you listen back to it, it's totally different. I think part of the reason is because you're not 100% focused on what you're actually picking up.
Mm. Yeah, I know when we were in Lep Castle, I think 2 years ago, and we had this. We were in the banquet room, and we had the spirit box on, and we had a recorder going. So we could hear something on the spirit box. And I know someone said to me, Jenny, call out for your friend, and I would never call out for anybody that I know who passed away. I just, not in Lep Castle. And I don't know why, for whatever reason, I did. I said to my friend, and I said her name, and I said, when I go visit you, because she's passed away, when I go visit you, what do I take with me? And we heard nothing on the spirit box. And we heard, and that was it. I didn't go through the recorder on that night. Now, I did when I came home, and I sat down and I set up and I listened to the recording, downloaded on my computer. So that question came along, and I said, Neve, when I go visit you, who do I take with me? And you can hear from the spirit box, dogs. But on the night, we heard nothing at all. So the recorder would have picked it up, but it sounded like it came from the spirit box, which is a bit, I don't know, there's two devices going at the same time. And I know I was called a name. I was called a certain name. And one of the guys said, Jenny, one of the guys said, did you call Jenny a bitch? And, if you did, can you say it again? So they all heard that same word again. But when I did the audio work, you will hear on the recorder, but it sounds like it came from the spirit box, from a man saying, hey, Jenny, you're a... And then on the spirit box came out the word. So you're using two different devices, and how that works, and which frequencies and waves that they're using, how it happens. But it does happen, especially when you're using two different equipment that would pick up names or pick up words or give out results or answers.
So there was somebody about that didn't like you.
Listen, I don't get it in all locations, or do I? No, there's one location I don't get that in, but the rest I do. I really do.
Sorry, though, before I forget.
Aye.
Scottish accent.
No. You want me to do the Scottish accent? I'll do it near the end.
I'm keeping you to that.
I'm warming up because I'm listening to you.
Oh, right, you're taking your cues from myself, aye.
Aye, yeah. No, you see, aye. I'm warming up. Because remember the last time I did the Scottish accent?
I was a bit of a mess, I'll be honest
with you.
That
was a bit of a...
It was a bit of a, I don't know, mixed bag, really, wasn't it?
It was really.
That's the best way to describe. That's the most polite way to describe it. I could turn around and say it was crap, but I'll just say it was a bit.
It was crap. Okay, my daughter's talking to me. Always the same. It was crap, but when you put it under pressure, but it will come out. Trust me, it will come out.
Well, if it's any consolation, I've tried to do an Irish accent and
Irish accent.
It doesn't happen. I end up sounding Welsh.
There was a friend of mine who was on the phone with at the weekend when Neil was at Parameet, and he said, Jenny, you're going to know this person. So, because I couldn't make it over. So she came onto the phone, and I'm like, who's this Scottish woman? She knows me, but I know Lois, but who's the Scottish woman? It was Jacqueline, a friend of mine. She was doing an Irish accent, but she said it's Scottish. I didn't understand what she was saying.
You hear a voice, but you think, I know that voice. Who is that?
Yeah, I know, because she was doing the Irish accent, but it came out Scottish.
Well, the Scots and the Irish are quite closely related anyway. So there is that kind of kinship there, shall we say? The other thing I was going to ask you about, you've been on TV as well.
I have briefly.
Spooky eye. I'm on fire the night with my words.
Yeah, I'm going to start following you now because I'm thinking, what was I on? Spooked Ireland. I almost said Spooky Ireland, and I'm like, that's not what I was on. So I'm following suit. But Spooked Ireland, yeah, I was on that show. Yeah, it was in Leap Castle, season 1, episode 4. Go look at it. But it was great to film. I was nervous as hell. I was really nervous, but I wasn't on it long. But I was still on it. 39% Scottish. Who's 39% Scottish?
I mean, that's Facebook user. I don't know who that is. Somebody's 39% Scottish. That always, no offense to everybody that says stuff like that, but I've met people before and say, right, I'm 10% American, 3% German, 4% French, and it all adds up to 100%. So how do you
I'd be afraid to do my DNA. I know I'm Irish. I'm definitely Irish. We know that for sure. We did myself and Neil did a whole family tree. Well, it was interesting. I'm always scared going back into history and seeing what's what, but it was interesting. My favorite one would be, and Neil, if you're still watching, Mary Conlon from 1860. I think it's from 1860. And she had done 24 hours in prison. Who was she to me, Neil, if you're still there? I don't know who she was. I forget who she was to me. But she had done 24 hours in prison for drunkenness. So Georgetown Prison, that's it, Georgetown Prison. But she'd done 24 hours for drunkenness. And I'm like, yep, that's the family. That's the family. But it's weird to see everyone that you're related to. It's weird to see everybody that you're related to. But I'd like to do more of it. Great, great, great aunt. So yeah.
User, a great. Well, I know I'm 100% Scottish. My family originally hail from Kinross, which is up north. So I know I'm, 100% Scottish. I don't have any American, French, German, or any kind of other blood in me. Just 100% Iron Brew.
Lovely. I know a friend of mine drank that before, and all I would see is Iron Brew. Oh, Facebook is the wife.
It's Sarah's Facebook user, right?
Oh, it's Sarah.
Facebook user. So Spooked Island. How did that come about? And tell us about Lake Castle.
I will. Oh, it's Roisin who's commenting. Roisin, my friend Roisin from up in bloody Antrim, who's saying she's 39% Scottish. Hi, Roisin, because I'm only seeing it on my phone now because she'd mailed me. So Spooked Ireland. Well, there's Roisin. So Spooked Ireland, how did that come about? Well, there was another team that was asked on but couldn't do it. So he put my name forward. So I got the phone call and did a few things and went down on the day of filming with a very good friend of mine as well from the north. She was another team that went down to film. And it was, oh God, I think we traveled about 8 a.m, something like that. And we sat around while filming was going on. And so I was nervous. I do my own shows and whatnot, and that's fine because I'm in the comfort of my own home. But when you have cameras and big boom mics over you and, your microphone, and I kept forgetting I was microphoned and I was talking a lot of stuff. But anyhow, so I was interviewed by Chris Fleming on the outside of Lep Castle at the front. And it was a great experience. And I was nervous when it was coming out last September. It's on Discovery Plus and Really Channel and Travel Channel. So if you haven't watched it, bloody watch it now. It's good. Season 1, episode 4. Season 1, episode 4. And there's many locations that they've been to, which were phenomenal. Chalva Castle, Wicklow Jail, and so on. But yeah, I know Chris will be back in Ireland in October and next year as well. But that will all be advertised when it is. But it was fun. I would do it again. Yeah, I would definitely do it again. I'd have more confidence doing it again. But when it aired, and I was on it, my friend was here watching it with me, and having a few drinks watching it, and he was screaming, Jenny, oh my, like he's from Dublin, but he lived in Canada most of his life. He used to be on my team. He goes, Jenny, oh my God. And I said, shut up. I can't hear myself and I can't pause it. You're like, shut up. But it was great to see it. It was great to see it. And I liked the outcome of it. So yeah, I would do it again. My hair was totally different then though. Shaved in blue. But I change it all the time. Shaved in blue? Yeah, but I change it all the time.
See, I don't have that option. But as you say, you do your own shows at home, which is fine because you're in your own home. It's your show. You've been doing it for
3 years.
Long time. So you're well used. And then all of a sudden, you get these TV cameras and all these other people that you don't know. You've never met arguing about you and lights and the microphones and all the rest. And you think this is going to be seen by X amount of people, and so I need to get this right. I can't, I don't want to look like an idiot.
I know, and I don't do the editing, so I don't have control of it. So Jenny, get it right, and it's one time only.
Aye, so it's definitely if you were editing and you'd messed it up, you say, right, well, I'll cut that. I can redo it, or I'll go over it again and redo it. But when that power's in somebody else's side, you're sitting there kind of thinking, did I do that right? Did I make any mistakes?
I did. We went, myself and Sharon went to the pub afterwards. So I was critiquing everything. Should I have done this? Should I have done that? Should I have done this? Which way did I look? But I said, it's out of my hands. What would be. It's out of my hands. It's going to be there. It's going to be there. And then you get your email and whatnot. It's gone through and you are on it and whatnot. But I would definitely do it again. Listen, give me a camera. I'm fine. I relax after a while. I'm okay. I get nervous at the beginning, but give me a camera and
It's the same when I mean, when we first started doing these podcasts, we'd never done a podcast in our life, not a one. And I'd watched probably the same as yourself. I'd watched folk on YouTube, doing all different kind of things, and but I never once for thought, well, we're going to be sitting on YouTube, sitting in front of a camera, talking to people. So
I was so nervous.
You do get nervous at first, but after a while, you forget the camera's there. I don't know if that works for you.
It does, because I know at the beginning when I started doing it for the first, say, 6 months, you could hear my heartbeat. I was nervous. I got tongue-tied. We had people on with us, people like you would watch the movies or know their grandparents and whatnot. The Ed and Lorraine Warren's grandson we had on, and I was starting to show off, and I was so nervous. I was so nervous. And I got tongue-tied and I was starting off the interview. But then that subsided. That was okay after that. But now when I do shows, I'm okay. Once I'm prepared and I'm set and I have everything ready to go and everything has spot on, I'm looking forward to it. I'm good. Put a bit of music on, get ready, and we're good for the show. And then you have a bit of banter. And I love doing round tables. And I love doing, I've done the last 2 shows I had were round tables, and fantastic people from around the world. And I know all of them. And I think there was one that I didn't know, but I knew the rest of them. So they kind of carried it as well. And I do have another one on Saturday. It's not so much a round table. I am trying to get more people onto it. I do have 2, but I'm trying to get more people onto it because I do love the round tables. But I'm finding I'm doing more round tables because I do love them. And you have, I think the last one I did, who said, I have to see who this is.
I've never done a podcast in my life.
Let me check this out for a second so I can see who that is. Who is that? Let me see. Let me just turn this down a wee bit. Can they see? Is he rubbing off me already? Can you see who it is?
No, all I've got is Facebook user.
It's Roisin. It's Roisin. Roisin, you need to come on my podcast. Put "or" at the end of your comments so I know it's you. Yeah, you need to get Roisin on the podcast to talk about Shane's Castle, which is a fantastic place.
I want to get back to lip.
Yeah, let's do that. Yep.
But no, the podcast, I enjoy doing them. Mind the first one we done. We went to Edinburgh one night and we were going to Greyfriars. We'd only been going about a month or something like that. We'd only been up and running about a month. You talk a few weeks, whatever. And
it's Roisin. It's Roisin.
And we'd planned to be in Greyfriars about 3 a.m. This is before we found out about the ban and investigations and stuff. Okay. But we went to Edinburgh early and we were up at the castle and we were on the Esplanade. Have you been to Edinburgh Castle?
No, but I've seen it. I've been is there a train station down?
Is there a what?
A train station?
The train station?
Aye, it's been bloody years since I've been in Edinburgh.
Well, for the castle to Waverley Station, it's about 10 minutes walk. You can see the train station from the castle. Right,
that's the train station I was in, and I looked up at the castle, and that's the closest I got to it. But that's before I was even involved in paranormal. I did see it, but I didn't go to it.
This particular night, we were up, and obviously it's at the top of the hill, and it can get a wee bit breezy, some days. And, Sarah had long hair and what have you, so she started talking. I think she lasted about 10 seconds, and then she ran out of stuff to say. So I don't know what I'm saying. And I was wandering about, and she eventually got a hold of me, so I came here and took her, and not that I was much better. I just started talking about the castle, This was back in the early days. But no, I enjoy doing the podcast because you meet so many different kind of people. She totally froze. We were using the phone.
Oh my God.
And she just kind of, I don't know what to say. And her hair was going all over the place with the wind and what have you.
Yeah, I did.
Very size you remember, you know what I mean? But
I did that in the show, yeah, I did that.
But I don't have that issue. My hair just get blown about in the wind, obviously.
Did you ever have a comb over?
No. Did I what?
Did you ever have a comb over? No.
Oh, like Greg, no, I've never done the comb over. My hair just went, and my hair just went. I didn't get the option of the combing over it. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
That's our first saying, I love you, wifey. Hey guys, I don't know who that is.
I do not know. I'm going to see if I can see it. Let me see. I'd like to know who it is. Let me have a wee look.
But I mean, we used to do the the kind of scripted ones, the 20 questions on a bit of paper and stuff like that. But
Yeah,
that
right.
only lasted a handful of shows, and no doubt you've encountered this. You get a guest who come on. It's Lulu.
Lulu, she's on Emerald Isle. She's my right-hand lady. That's Lulu. She's working tonight. That's Louise.
Right. Hi, Louise, no. And you get a guest on, and no disrespect to him, but you'll say, have you ever done an investigation? They'll say, yes.
I know. Yeah, could you elaborate a little bit? But you have to kind of be prepared and draw. I know I've had that before. I'm obviously not going to say who it was, but it was just nope. It drove me insane.
It's murder, and you find about 15, 20 minutes in, you've asked all the questions that you were intending to ask. You think, right, what did they know? And they'll say, so have you ever, had anything happen to you? Did anything happen in the event? And they'll say, no. Rather than saying no, it was a quiet night, but we kind of...
Right, it was just one word answer.
No.
One word answers.
Right, moving along.
How did you deal with that then? How did you drag it out, and how long did it go on for? 90 minutes?
I think about 20 minutes.
Did it? My internet's going.
I think we got into faking technology problems.
Did you really? Yeah, I'm going through a tunnel. We're losing signal.
There was one group we had on, and again, no disrespect. It was a young lassie, and I was asking her questions, and she kept going, when did I start the paranormal? Our family, our friends were sitting outside, a camera running about her.
Oh no, really?
When did I first investigate? 6 months ago. And they say, did anything happen, Gran? Nothing happened.
I'd say you should all get in. Get in and join in.
But bring the family in, but in terms of that, you've got to ad-lib, and you've got to just start making up your own stuff and try and just draw the words out. How did you cope with it? But how did you get by that? If you've had, I guess, with that,
I talked about myself. Not all the time, but I kind of write down. I always have pen and paper in front of me, so anything that they do say, I'll write it down, and I try and get them to elaborate a little bit more on it. Mm-hmm. But it can be hard, and I hate those, say, even 20-second silences. It can't go like that. You got to keep it going. So that's why, and I know sometimes, you don't script them and so on, but you do. For me personally, I'd like to have then some questions thrown in. Locations. Oh, well, listen, that's totally, yeah, I know.
In that circumstance, Rosine, you try and you wait for them to take a breath.
Yeah, and you jump in with a question.
And then you jump in. Yeah, right. They need to breathe. So not unless they're breathing through their backside, but they need to breathe sometime. Take a breath, and as soon as you kind of jump out.
Back to the equipment that you use and why do you use it and so on. But yeah, I know, like, I love when they talk, because it gives me a little bit of a break. It gives me a break, so I can sit down and I can. I'm just looking at something funny. It gives you a little bit of a break, and then whenever they have coming out, I'd write down a little bit of what they're saying, so I can come back onto that as another question, because they're talking about it a lot. So, and I like the ones who talk a lot, but we do have to jump in sometimes and just say, right, we're gonna, I want to ask you this question, or I'll go on the panel and just say, right, I'm going to throw a question in here from XYZ, and just change the topic, unless the topic is we got as much as we can from it, but not like, we started out here 6 years ago and tell me from 6 years until like 6 years later. But I don't mind them talking along.
We've had a couple of guests, they'll talk, and it's great, as you say, it's great because that's what you want your guests to do, to come on and talk,
Do you know what? I have no guests on Saturday now, and yours are all going to cancel on you now because they'll be thinking like, hey, Jenny and Scott, am I talking too much? Am I talking too little? So like, we're not saying anything, just,
No, we're not being judgmental. It's just, I think this is a funner podcast as well because you get new guests on, and you've never spoke to them before. You mailed them and what have you. And
Chantel, there's my Chantel, my darling. I love you and I miss you. Chantel is my sister from South Africa.
All right.
She's fabulous. She's my sister from another mister. That's our Chantel. I love her. Get your ass back over to Ireland, Chantel. West Row, she's saying.
Back to Ireland. Jenny's missing you, Chantel. But
yeah, back to me.
It's where you get, we love our guests, some of them are nuts, but it's a good nuts.
Did I ever? I had one or two on, but they were good nuts. Funny, very funny. And you'd have to put it like a PG on it before they come on. Like they're from I'm not going to say what they're from, but it's fun. We do have fun, and I know all the guests that come on. Yes, you do, Chantel. Yes, you do. I kind of need you here. I have a lot to fill you in on. I need you here. I need you, Chantel. I do.
We had one guy on a couple of years ago now, and it was in New Zealand, Australia, or something. It was the other side of the world, and but he was a great guy, but he was your typical surfer sort of guy.
Oh God!
And with the joints and stuff like that, and hey dude and hey man, and he was dead really laid back, and it was South Africa. Well, it was near enough. It's quite a wee bit away, but when he came on, it was just a kind of surfer dude.
I seen someone. I don't know if it was your show. I seen him on. Yeah, Chantel definitely does. Definitely does. I seen someone like that on a show, and I don't know if it could have been yours, but he was a real chill, like you were saying, a surfer dude, and kind of he was out there. He was really out there, and I thought, bloody love him. And I mailed him saying, come on show.
I was about two. I think it was about two. Sarah probably tell you, but I think it was about 2.5 years ago. Neil's asking. Was Jenny on the episode when Chris Fleming was touched in an intimate place by I've got no idea, Neil. You need to ask Jenny.
It did happen. It was in another. Oh God, I'm getting stuttering now. I'm trying to think. It did happen. I watched the show, and he was touched on a place. Yeah, and he's in trouble after this, let me tell you. He's in big trouble after this.
That meant to be kept quiet, aye.
Look at it.
I think you've kind of got a stuck there, Neil, for what you're saying.
Yeah, he's in trouble.
Let's just say, it was a good investigation. What about that?
He enjoyed it. He looked like he enjoyed it. Yeah, he looked like he enjoyed it. Look at this. Wow.
No, he's worried. Seriously, we had a long started, so it's more than 2, because we'll be 4 years this June, July.
How long?
4 years.
Doing the podcast, is it?
Aye.
Wow.
Well, it was just after, it was just at the time of the second big lockdown.
Right, yeah. I think everyone jumped into the podcast. Even I jumped into it, I think, at the time.
I think you had to, but Jenny, because we'd only done a couple of investigations, and we'd only been running about a month, and so we'd done a couple of investigations. We'd done a lot in Edinburgh, and then the lockdown came, and you're not allowed out.
We were like what are we bloody doing? Like, we needed to get out. And I think it was a great, I have to say, it was a great thing. No, I'm not going to say the lockdown was a great thing, but for people to connect that would have never connected if it wasn't for the podcast, because we were all locked down.
Is it considered harassment if it's done by a ghost?
Well,
I've no idea.
But I think it was where people met each other. Oh, that's probably about Chris being touched by
Laura. You've been with us for 3 years, something like that. I think about 3 years. I think, though, I probably got that wrong. My memory sucks, but it's probably, I think it's about 3 years roundaboutish. At this point, I'll take it. Where is that ghost? but as you say, we were on the same canoe. I remember you being touched when we were in Shane's, Jenny. Will you get touched as well?
I was, yeah.
I'm not going to ask where or anything like that.
I remember standing Shane's Castle up in County Antrim, an amazing place. My goodness, we were doing that location, Roisin, every single month for what 5-6 years, something like that. We were doing that location every single month. So it's where I started off in the paranormal, and what a place to start off in. And we had done other few locations as well, but that was the main location. My gosh, that place is. I seen my first solid figure shadow. Like it was so solid you couldn't see through him. But he was outside the toilet area outside, and I know Roisin will know this because I said it to Roisin before. But I could see a solid. I was sitting in the car with one of the team members, and you could see the side profile, the nose, the mouth, the chin, the neck, the shoulders down to the waist. And I was going from the men's toilets, walking across to the right-hand side, across to the women's toilets. And myself and one of the girls were sitting in the car. We were late up to location, and the rest were down in the tunnels. And I said nothing, trying to register what I just seen. I said nothing. And about 15 seconds later, who was it? The girl said, "Oh my God, did you just see that?" I don't blame you, Roisin. I don't blame you. That place will drain energy from you like no other. So my friend beside me said, "Oh my God, did you just see that?" And I looked at her and I'm like, "What did you see?" Because I knew then she saw something. And she goes, "She's seen a waist and legs walking by." And I said, "I've just seen the top half." And it was, when you don't have that, you don't have any equipment running or going, it was just personal experience. But I am always, when I talk about this stuff, I if I lied, I'd forget my story and trip up and add to it or leave some things out. And it's my truth. So this is what I have seen and another girl has seen. But in the tunnel, I remember we were outside the canteen, Roisin, when we were having a coffee break, and I was wearing my jacket. And we have the strings on your jacket that you can tighten up a wee bit. So I was talking to two other women on the group, and I could feel the string being pulled and my jacket being lifted up. But everyone was inside. I'm standing with my back to the grounds, and the two women were in front of me. So no one is behind me. But I could feel my jacket being lifted up and then just being sprung back. No one was behind me. And these are all personal experiences. So, and the location I know pretty well from doing it for a long time. And my goodness, it's been, how many years has I been there, Roisin? My God, it's been years. I know I went about 2 years ago, took a trip on a Sunday afternoon just to see the grounds and say goodbye to the land, and if they knew I was back, because you get your name being said. Roisin, I was listening to audio last week with Neil and where Jenny's name was being said, but you heard Jenny. And then you heard Roisin's name being said, because we were there all the time. All the time we were there. But yeah, it is. And Roisin was there Friday night, and to the point that they would have to leave. It's a place and a half. It is really Games of Thrones film there. I know the members of the production team was setting up in the tunnels and they had to leave. And I remember one guy was down there on a ladder fixing the lightings on the wall or whatever. And I'm thinking, who was with him? No one was with him. Roisin, you have to go back. I did say to you as well, take a few weeks off, take a few months off from it, because it would drain you. That's the one place where I remember, Roisin, we did the reenactment, and Mick was doing a reenactment, and I was the one who was calling out. And he said to me at that point, he goes, Jenny, I want you to provoke. And I'm like, no, I don't want to provoke. I don't provoke. I don't want to. And so he goes, Jenny, you have to. We have people here. So I ended up having to do, because I was, on the team, and, he was the founder, and I was younger at the stage. Then I'll tell you what to do. There'll no provoking at all. But I did then, because I was, starting out, and I was on the team a few years. So I should have known, but I didn't. Anyway, I did, and things started to happen. So anyway, coming to the end of the night, the founder had taken, the two founders had taken the team up to the battlements, and I was down with my group on the grounds. And so when we walked in, we were hit with the smell of sulfur. I've never had anything like it before in my life. And I'm trying to think here. So yes, we went in and we smelled sulfur, very strong, hurt your throat, burned the inside of your nose. It was bad. So the girl I was with saying, Jenny, we can't go into the tunnels. And I'm like, no, we are. They know we're here. We know that they're here. We're going to continue. Yeah, you see. Yeah, and it's something I said I'd never wanted to smell again. And I smelled it only a few months ago in February in a different location. And I knew immediately what it was. And this is going back about 10 years, Roisin. And I never had that smell until I went to another location a few months, February. And I got that smell again. And I knew immediately what it was. And I couldn't get out of that room quick enough. I don't want to give the name of the location out, because we're still finding out why and so on. And I don't want to do that to the location. So we were going in. And anyway, so the conversation between me and the other person was like, let's leave. And I'm like, nope, we're going to continue. Let's leave. No, we're going to continue. We had public with us. So I said, right, fine, we'll leave. Because we were walking up towards the area where we had done the reenactment. So when we turned around and went to walk out, I said, I don't know why we're leaving when they know we're here. And with that, within 20 seconds later, it was as if something ran up towards me or through me. It was like I felt like the Matrix, when you kind of go back slowly, your hearing went, your eyes closed, you're kind of like your head is underwater. And I couldn't hear anything. Even if the people were talking, I couldn't hear anything. It was just
muffled.
Yeah, something like that. And it was different. It was just different. And when I came to, I'd say that happened for like 6-8 seconds, long enough. So when I came to, and I'm like, WTF. So I linked onto the girl and I said, take me out, get me out, take me out. And in my mind, I was saying, if you lose it, you've lost it. Don't lose your mind, compose yourself, and you'll be fine. Compose yourself and you'll be fine. So I said, come on, let's get out. Hiya, let's get out. And yeah, it is. And we got out. And let me tell you, when I went back there again, and it took me about a month or two to go back, I apologized, because you don't play around. And that's what I always say when people provoke on locations or investigations or be Billy Big Balls. You can ask the questions that no one else would ask, because they're legit questions. Even if they're hard to say, you bloody well ask them. I do. But I wouldn't be provoking the way I was told to provoke. And then I kind of got into it too much. I got into it. And being cocky, you don't be cocky. You learn. Never be cocky. Don't be afraid, but don't be an arsehole. Don't be cocky. Respect the location, no matter who they are, no matter what they've done. And I always say, when people, pass away and they were like arses in life, and arses in life, and they're going to be the same when they pass over, still don't be cocky. It's just not okay. So yeah, I never did that again. I was young.
No, you see, you provoked years ago when you first started out. You were young, inexperienced, whatever you want to call it. We did the same thing once. What I did at the Mackenzie Vault. This is way back at the start. And I done it once, and that was it. But as you say, don't be cocky. I respect is a big word, because at the end of the day, say, you're getting into their territory, basically. Their home, or whatever. And it means something to them. And if you go in and you're full of the attitude and all that, if somebody came into your house, Jenny, with a big attitude, then you're going to kick them to the curb. You're going to say,
"Yeah, I would."
And it works the exact same way. And as you just said there, whatever you were like in this life, you're the same in the next life, except you don't have that, a physical body. And you're not going to entertain somebody coming into your space, your territory, whatever you want to call it, and say, right, come on, show me what you can do, or whatever it is you're going to say, because you're just going to go with that. You can get yourself to whatever.
I think some of them do it as well because they have public with them, so they have to get something for the public. And I know that night we had public with us, and I always say, if we take a few people with us, and I say, this is not bloody TV. What we get, you get. We could sit here for 8 hours and have little knocks and whatnot, but we'll always try to debunk the knocks and not say, oh, it's someone knocking on the wall or someone knocking on the floor. We do debunk it. And the teams will go down, like we'll half the team and, go and check out and try and reenact it or see what was going on. But what we get, you get. It's not 45 minutes of TV. So, and I know that some will, and I know a few groups that do take public with them and heighten up to be something that's not. It's not really. Paranormal is not that easy. To research or to investigate, it's not that easy, and you don't get something all the time. You just don't.
It doesn't happen.
I know when people are paying, they make sure they get an entertainment night.
Do you think that people will respect you more? Say you hold an event, and you've got 30 people there for talking sake, and you get nothing. And you turn around and say, after 3 or 4 hours, right, sorry, folks, but the spirit's just only playing ball tonight. They're not in the mood for talking.
Yeah.
A couple of comments that I will come to. The spirit's just only in the mood for talking tonight. Do you think people respect that more rather than, as you say, like 45 minutes of, headstones flying about and all the rest? Because it's not like that.
It's not, and I do agree with you that I think they would respect you more. It's not what they got, and I'm very thorough when I start at the beginning. It's not TV. You're not getting 45 minutes. You're getting a full night. It's long, it's cold, it's tiring, but it can be fun as well when you have your coffee breaks, and then you can have a bit of a banter, a bit of a talk about experiences, talk about what you have gotten from that location as well. Sometimes you don't talk about the location, so they can have their own experiences, and so you can validate it. So I think that. Be honest with them. I do know of one or two where they have a little cold blowing machine, and I'm like, no. And I've lost my respect for that group.
Because they just put everybody else, see you get one group that they use that machine and stuff like that, and they get found out, then people are going to say, well, that's one group that does it, so how many other groups do it?
That's it. And I know with my team and my group, we don't mind people coming with us. We don't take a lot of public with us. We really don't. We don't. We take people that we know with us. But we don't put on a show. If it's quiet, it's quiet. And the locations we go to, we've been to for many years. So we don't always know what to expect because you never can. But we do know, and we'll always continue on and follow up from our last investigation. Say it was a question or a response that we got, I'd like to continue on with that. Louise likes to continue, and Corey and Niall, we'd like to continue on with the previous investigation. And which we have done. And sometimes they will work with you, and sometimes they just bloody won't. But I know when we went back to Leap Castle, it was probably one of the best nights. I mean, I've had many, many best nights, great nights in Leap Castle. I know the last one we went to in February was one of the best nights. The playbacks are fantastic, phenomenal. I mean, the video is phenomenal as well. Brilliant. One of our best nights in it.
As you say, you there's some nights they'll play ball and some nights, and we've had the exact same. Again, Loud and Kirk, we've done that, I don't know, many times, but we've had nights where we've had loads of EVPs and noises and K2, etc. going off. But then we went back again and we've maybe had the flicker of a cat ball. And that's been it all night. And say, well, that's not in the mood for talking. And
just not. Yeah.
It's not a good night. The thing, just for I will come to a comment. I'm just coming to your comments, folks. I promise. That one of the things I enjoy, like your opinion on this, Jenny, is the anticipation.
Mm-hmm.
The not knowing what you're going to get.
It's exciting.
I see you're sitting somewhere at 8 o'clock at night, in a graveyard, you don't know what's going to happen within that next 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And then it comes to 8:05, nothing's happening. Well, you don't know what's going to happen within the next 5. Does that make sense?
Yes. And that's why we stay for hours, or we stay for a weekend in a location, because you're wanting more. And it's like, I know when we go off and when we know these locations and it's a little bit of an adrenaline rush. I know when we go to the Hellfire Club, you never know because it's an open building. So anyone can be up there. So you've got to be careful as well, because it can be pretty bloody dangerous to go up there. You need a group of people with you, not 2 or 3 like we did the last time, but we were fine, thankfully. But I know they've been up there and you just get anyone, you get worshippers up there and so on, and you bloody well have to be careful. I know there was a team up there a few weeks ago and they went through some things as well. But the anticipation of going to locations, totally, and especially even a new location, I personally for myself don't really look up the history of the location. Maybe if we read like a story on a board, whatever, in that location, we will possibly call out for the names, but we go in blank.
Aye.
We go in blank. And when we went in blank a few weeks ago to a location, to one of our castles, that we have never done before. So we were kind of going in blind, not knowing what was going to happen. There was one particular room in that castle that really, really intrigued us. So when we spoke to the night person at the end of the night, he said, "Did you go into the room?" Oh, I've got it. Sorry. We go into the, oh God, that was a call. We go into this, did you go into this room? Oh, sorry, I don't know. Sorry, just give me a second. I hope nothing's wrong. When you get these phone calls, you hope nothing's wrong. Anyway, so yes, so he had a great experience in this room, and we did as well. But we went into this room blank, not knowing anything, and it was one of the best rooms we had been into. One of the best rooms we had been into, and so that's why we go in blank and let them tell us at the end of the night, and we tell them our favorite rooms of this building, and they would validate it for us.
See, if we get named, say we go on occasion for the and we'll get named, say we get John, Jeffrey, and Mike, for instance, then, after investigation, we'll have a wee look about, the history, right? Was there any Johns, or, to see if you can tie in the name with the history, and that gives you a starting point, and then you go back and say, right, well, we know John may have been the owner of the house because there's a John mentioned, so let's see if we can ask, were you the owner of the house? And if we get any response that way, it's a puzzle, basically.
I know.
I better put these comments up. People follow me. Haunted place is pure evil. Haunted dolls are known. Have you ever encountered a haunted? Not today, Neil. Sorry, buddy. I can't say I, because I've personally not. I don't know about Jenny.
A haunted puppet. I have encountered one. I have encountered one, but it's. I don't know if it's haunted. I'm not 100% sure. So,
I'm no.
If anything better, I'll let you know.
I'm not sold in the haunted dolls. I know I'm not disrespecting anybody has them or whatever. I know there's documented cases out there of certain dolls, whatever, that are haunted, basically. But I don't know. I'm kind of 50-50 on it. I'm not dissing it. It's
I have one.
you know.
Well, it was sent over to me from the UK. And myself and Louise took it out to the location where she wanted to be back into. So this was said to me. And I remember, and she's underneath my table now as we speak, my computer desk. And she, I remember when I first took her in and I unboxed her and so on. And later on that night or that evening, my daughters were upstairs, 13 and 20. And so when they came down and I said, Elsa, were you humming upstairs? And she goes, she looked at me like, I'm 13, I'm a teenager, I'm not humming. And so I said to her, I do not hum. And then I said to Jessica, did you hum? And she goes, no. It's kind of like, Harry Enfield, kind of like, shaking the hands and shaking the head like, 20-year-old and a 13-year-old. No, we don't hum. And I've heard humming in my house before. So when I look back at this guy's email and I'm reading through it, and then I seen at the bottom, when she's happy because you'll hear her humming. I'm like, what?
And you heard the humming?
I heard humming, and I've got 5 dogs, and I think they're broken. Because you know how dogs will react to something?
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't react to anything. I think my dogs are broken, because a few things that's happened in my house, and they're kind of like, oh, whatever, feed us. They don't do anything.
Maybe they just don't care. Something else,
Some kind of, take your animals on locations with you. No, these will do nothing for you. And there's my cat agreeing with me. Did you hear her? Hi, Charlie. Agree? Charlie agrees. Don't take him on location.
Paranormal should be about the love of the paranormal, not about getting results or likes and exactly. You do it because we love doing it. I mean, everybody likes to see numbers going up and stuff like that. But
I always say it's quality, not quantity. Good. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, Jenny. I like to see numbers going up because it means that it lets us know that we're doing stuff that people are enjoying. That people like your content, whatever. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the best way to explain it. The best way is to just let me know, but not to expect anything if there is something. Exactly.
Yeah, that's it.
I was reading a post a few weeks back on Facebook, and it was somebody just starting out in the paranormal, and they were saying, looking for some advice. What can I expect? What's the best way to go about it? And I just wrote, just go in and be yourself. Expect nothing. That's it. Simple as, Don't
watch anyone. Just do it yourself. Oh, stay safe. Be respectful of locations. No trail trace. Like leave the location as you found it. I know some teams have made it worse for other teams when they leave everything behind, the rubbish, and not put things back the way they had it. Respect of a location.
See, that's just for a comment, Laura's comment. That's what happened with Greyfriars in Edinburgh.
Right.
We're quite close with Jamie Christophin, and that's why the council put a ban on investigations initially. Because when they first banned them, you needed a permit to investigate.
Right,
the reason they did that is because people were trying to climb over walls to get into the Covenanters prison and get stones, and they were causing thousands of pounds. So the council says, enough's enough. And then I think it was last year, it was an American tourist ripped a plaque off one of the walls. They got it back. I don't know what happened to the culprit, but I know they got the plaque back. But then the council said no.
Yeah, I don't blame them.
No more investigations, and it ruined it for everybody, because Greyfriars is it's a beautiful place. I'm not talking about the activity in it. I'm just talking about in general.
Yeah.
Even the history in the place, but the what is it they say? The few ruin it for the many, or I don't know. There is a saying.
I know it. I don't know it, but I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Much like Loud and Curt, we sit for hours and nothing, and it's almost like something shifts. Then there's so much. It's so difficult to document. EVPs, REM pods, but hearing and seeing things with their own eyes and ears, feeling if being watched. It's crazy. It is crazy. Do you find that? I mean, like Laura says, she's one of yours. Loud and Curt is a place where it seems to be. It's got to sound stupid, right? But there's a few teams will back me up. After about 9 o'clock, Now, I'm not saying it's the witching hour or anything like that, you know.
Yeah.
It used to be after about 9 o'clock, 9:30, the whole atmosphere. Now, I know it gets darker, so there's a different atmosphere in the place.
Right. Yeah.
But that's when the activity seems to come about, you know. And we always do Loud and Curt as alive, so people can see what we're seeing as we're seeing it, you know.
Yes.
Have you ever found that? Oh, Neil says that's a cracker of a story, Jen.
That's the one with the doll. Yeah, we took the doll out to the location. Yeah.
Have you ever had a location where a certain point of the night, you know, and it's usually the same kind of time frame, it just changes?
Yep. I know in the Drogheda Museum Millmount, it would heighten when we're all coming in. So say there could be 2 or 3 people in, or it could be 4 or 5 people in for the night. But there's around a certain time, because we get there for about 7 o'clock. And you'll hear things a little bit because they know you're coming in, because we know the building so well. And you'll hear a female, or you hear a child, or you'll hear something. But we always have a recorder running. No matter if we're having a conversation, you will always have a recorder running and say a K2 or REM pod or whatever on. And there is a certain time, and I do agree with you, that the activity has heightened so much. I know myself and Louise and Alan went there in the museum one night, and it was crazy. We were chasing what we were hearing. And every time we go to one place, it comes back up to another place. And then at a certain time, it just goes flatline. It just goes, it's done for the night.
Aye.
The activity is phenomenal, crazy. We do the ITC with the phones. So when this is my favorite one. I know Louise is the Estes method queen. And I love doing the ITC with the phones. So we'll have a mobile phone and someone will ring my phone, and we always use WhatsApp for whatever reason. WhatsApp works more. So they'd call me on WhatsApp and I'd have them on speakerphone. They'd have me on speaker. So they'll bring the phone down to one particular area of the location we're at with a recorder. And you always leave the recorder away from the phone because you don't want interference. So when whoever leaves the phone down, they come back up into the room or sitting. So we're a good distance away. Most of it is like stone places that we're going to, so it doesn't travel as much. So we ask questions through the phone, and we listen to the phone from where the other room has been in. It's crazy. It's my favorite thing. This was on Spooked Island. They played one of the recordings from Spooked Island when we were in Leap Castle, and you'll get a lot of noise, a lot of talking. When we listen back to the recorder, you'll have a full conversation or a sentence. And this is ITC, so it's electronic. So they're all, I mean, it works for them. But it's, and I know there was a movie I watched about the telephone and the paranormal, and there's a book that I bought recently about something like, oh God, I forget the name of it. Don't kill me, the author, don't kill me. But it's like something ghost and telephone. And I'm like, I'm so into that. And I know the author as well, so I don't want to say the name. Do you know it, Cal Cooper?
I know the one you're talking about. I can't remember the name.
Aye, that's the one. Sorry, Cal. I forgot the name of the book, but I know what it's about. So it's like phone and speaking to the dead through the phone or something like that. He'll probably just not send it to me now anymore because I forget the name of it. But anyway, so it's all that I know. No, that's a different movie. That's an older movie. But I know what the one you're talking about. So I love all of that. I love all the ITC. And I know a lot of people are doing it now. I know 2 friends of mine in Texas, separately in Texas, we would have done the ITC. So they would have left the room and leave me in the room. Like I'm sitting here in my home, but they would have left a camcorder running. I'm watching it and I'm calling out questions. And this is in some place in Texas. And it was fantastic. It was brilliant. And I know other teams are using it in America, and I'd let them know how it's done. It's very easy, very, very easy. But the results are good. The results are good. They don't often come back to me all the time with the results, which I really, really want to know how what were your results. If I'm giving you the time and how to do it, let me know how it went.
You want to know,
And they don't let me know. And they say, how'd you do it again? Figure it out. It's simple. Let me know how that went.
If you're telling somebody you're helping somebody with, an experiment or investigation, you want to know the outcome, because you're sitting here. I wonder how it's human nature.
Text me at 3 a.m. because it's like late. 3 a.m. is probably like 10 o'clock over there, and say, "How do you do it again?" Nope, Did you let me know the last time? Nope. We're still going through it. Nope. Just
Right.
nope.
And
Let me know.
It's common courtesy as well. Somebody's helping you with an investigation. Give them a wee mail or a 2-second phone call. Say, right, we did it and this happened or nothing happened, but we're going to try it again and thanks very much.
You just want to know. Oh my goodness. And I always say in the paranormal, respect, because you'll get some bloody plonkers and you just respect from each team. That's it. And if you don't respect, I don't deal with you. I won't, and I never will. And you may like me. You can hate me. I'll still sleep at nighttime. So just respect between teams. It's easy.
It's a very, very easy thing. Don't get me right. Sometimes I've forgotten to mail somebody about a day or two late. I think I never mailed them. Yeah. You know, but it's not done on purpose or anything. It's just it goes right out your head. You think, oh, no, that's shit. I never mailed so and so. Or I totally forgot. Sorry,
I pen and paper everywhere. I've pen and paper everywhere, and I write a lot of scribbles. I tell you, a lot of scribbles on my thing. I've got a few written down here now that I have to do. But it's just common courtesy to let people know. But that's okay, you know. If they don't, then I'll not tell you again.
That's it. Again. You know, you
just respect within teams.
You shoot yourself in the bahookie, basically, shall we say? That's a polite way I can turn around and say it in the bahookie. But we use it. I mean, it is great. You say earlier on when you get results, you know, EVPs and stuff, and you get. I know. As I was going to come to ask you about apps, we use an Equaphonic a lot, and we use the Spirit Talker. We've tried other ones, but you know, not had much joy, and that's me being polite. What's your whole take on the whole app situation, and do you have any that you favour more than anything, any other ones? Or
we wouldn't really use apps. I do have one on my iPad that I had gotten from Ryan O'Neill. So, and you know, and I'm thinking if it's good enough for you, I'm going to try it. I'm going to buy it and try it. Haven't tried it yet, but I do have it. That's the only app that I have. Other apps would be the Ghost thing, you know, the Ghost SLS, but that's just to show it. Shit, it's not real. I don't like them because we could be in a cemetery and the headstone would be a stick figure. Or a stack of chairs would be a stick figure. We don't even use the SLS camera.
We don't
use it. No. I find the Necrophonics, I've heard that one being used before. We don't have it. I've heard it being used before. And it was okay. Do I have one? No, I don't have it. We have the Spirit Box and we use that. There was one that we did use before was the Echo Portal. Now it was custom made for an ex-member. And it was phenomenal. I loved it. Is that rain? I don't know. But it was phenomenal. I loved it. The stuff that came out of it made me like lose my breath. And when I go like that, well, then something good has happened. But the Echo Portal box, they don't make them anymore, but I would love one. I'd love one. It's just a wooden box with a speaker and the words Echo from it, hence the name. Do any other apps? I don't use any apps. I don't use them. My main equipment would be recorder, camcorder. That's it. Pen and paper.
See, we use we've always used an Echo. We've had a lot of. I know, you know. I know these apps are all loaded with a certain amount of words, you know.
Right.
What we've had quite a lot over the years is sesentences with accents in them.
Yes, I do understand. Yeah, that. Yeah.
You know, and we're big in debunking, same as yourself. You know, if we can debunk it, the more we can debunk, the better.
Yeah, that's what I go with. Yeah.
But there's sentences we've had in a Scottish accent and stuff,
right.
Intelligent sentences, you know,
yeah.
And we've never been able to debunk them. We've had quite a few answers on it for questions that we've asked directly, you know. We use Laura's voice recorder on our phone, basically. And we've had a lot of EVPs through that totally make sense to what we've been asking at the time, you know. And I don't, a lot of people might shoot them down, but we always say we can't explain it.
That's the one that gets me. is that when you have a sentence to an intelligent sentence to your question, that's what kind of gets me as well. I would never, like I said, I have the Ryan O'Neill's one, the Spirit Box one. I haven't used it yet. I forgot to use it. Sorry, Ryan, but I will on the next location. Sorry, I'm forgetting a lot of things. I've just been preoccupied. But I take it with the recorder, and that's me good to go. Pen and paper, we're good to go. And you know, if we do it live, we'll do it live. We don't do it for long, but I like to show people where we're going and so on. But when do you ever use the Alice box?
No, we don't use a lot of tech because we really kind of frame of mind that spirit doesn't care. You know, this is just the way we look at it. You know, you could have somebody by no disrespect to people that use tech. That's your thing, you know. Yeah. But you could have somebody with a £400 camera and somebody with a 30 pence ping pong ball. Spirit doesn't care. You know, it's just I might be wrong. I'm not saying I'm right, and you know.
No, I would agree to a point with that. Yeah, well, not to a point with that. Like, I agree with it, and I know people are like keeping up with the Joneses. And I was talking about this on Saturday night on my show, and people are going out to buy the Boo Bear, and I'm not I'm putting anyone down, like I said on Saturday night about the Boo Bear. But no, and I always say, just get a teddy bear. Get a teddy bear and put cat balls around it. Put the REM pod around it. That's £250.
It does the same job. You know, we use stuff. We use REM pods, K2 meters, the temperature gun thing. That's my technical temperature gun thing. You know, but we use ping pong balls as well. We've tried a compass a couple of times. We've not had any joy out yet.
Yeah, I like the compass. Yeah, that's good. I like the compass.
I say ping pong balls, cat balls. I think everybody uses cat balls, you know. Just your basic kind of stuff that spirit understand. I mean, you know, as you say, if you've got a £400 camera and a spirit looks at that thing, what the hell's that? But you're standing there with a ball. Well, he's got a ball.
Well, I find in the museum that we were doing, the Drogheda Museum, I always found when you take the camcorder out, you get absolutely nothing. Nothing. They will not do it in front of the camera. When you take it away, you get everything happening. And that's their prerogative. That's all right. You know, I'm not going to do it in front of the camera because we've been doing a location for about 6 years, and you get to know the people in the museum. And I don't know if it's, well, I'm going to say it my way. They become like family to you because you know them, even if they don't like you, but they know you. And you become protective of them as well. You really do. And that you go to all the time and you're repetitive going back to these locations, you do become protective of them, if that makes any sense.
No, it makes total sense. We're the same with Lloyd and Kirk. We've been doing Lloyd and Kirk for about 3 years now, and we know for definite 4 individual spirits are there by name and what have you. You know, there's others there as well, which were picked up through EVPs. But they become like friends and family. And when you go in, you say, you know, hey, it's me, you know, we're back again.
That's what we do, yeah.
Because I think that's the way. I'll stick these comments 2 seconds off, but the cat balls are amazing. They're so difficult to sell if you actually. I mean, I've jumped up and down beside them, and no doubt you have as well.
Yeah, Louise has. She has. You know,
they started to light the camera. Remember them touching the flowers?
That's in the museum, and it was on the 3rd floor we were on. It was just myself, Louise, and Alan. So we went out for a coffee break, and we had brought over flowers with us because we said we'd bring flowers over. I mean, sometimes we bring over a little, you know, whiskey and poker cards and whatnot, but we brought flowers over that night. We were on the 3rd floor, and you know, they're wrapped in the cellophane, and so it was on the floor. Louise had her camera on it. So when we came back after that night, myself and Lulu came back to my house, and we looked over the video, and you would see there's a camera wire hanging down. And you can, we were all outside. You can hear us mumbling and talking. So you'll see the wire just moving faintly. You had to speed it up to see it being moved. But Louise and her eagle-eye hawk eyes because she did all the video, you could see the lead moving a wee bit, it came out a bit, and you can see the cellophane on the flowers being pushed down and back up. And no one's there. There's only myself, Louise, and Alan. So that I think the one I was talking about when I had the ball on the stairs and then in the kitchen area, nothing happened. But they did for that. They touched the flowers on the REM pod. The REM pod was in that hallway, and they lifted the wire out from where it was hanging. Oh God, there was something else I was going to say, and it's bloody came out of my mind. Oh, in the Ardgillan Castle, we were in Louise, and the cat balls. We were all in the room at the same time. And I know Louise knew at the beginning with me and cat balls, I was a little bit, cat balls, toys, they're going to go off, you're going to go on. And Louise said, trust me, trust me, trust me. And Louise would bounce on the floor. It's a wooden floor. So the floor would shake and the cat balls still didn't go off.
Mm-hmm.
Like Laura was saying, they still did not go off. So when they did go off, and I was like, in my mind, I was like, please go off for Louise, because she's dying for these cat balls to go off. Please just set one off for Lulu. And it did. And you'll see Louise. Louise would go, "Ooh, you know, was it how well we well? Oh, how do you do?" So
that's it. But seeing it does go off,
yeah,
on command. You know, you say, you know, and you think
they did in Ardgillan Castle in one particular room. There was 2 of them on a bed, and so Louise was calling out, and one went off, and we're like, "Oh, okay." So, and I think Louise or I said, you know, if you set one off, can you set the other one off? And the second one went off, and we have this on video. We were live. We have it on video. So the second one went off, so you can see it going, okie dokie. And then we asked the questions again, and it did the same thing again. So we kind of, you know, put that to our questions, I think. It was interesting.
When you get things like that, you know,
that's my phone.
To me, that's an intelligent response.
Mm-hmm.
You know that you know there's somebody standing there beside you. And we had the same thing with a headstone, and I had the K2 on one side of the headstone, a cat ball on the other, and the K2 was lighting up, and I said, you know, can you? And we thought it was a gentleman called Ian, one of the spirits. I said, if this is you, Ian, can you step away from that black box and touch that ball, make that ball light up? And more or less straight away, the K2 went dead, and the cat ball lit up.
I see my candle flicker behind me, and I thought for a second it was something was flickering. I was like, I'm thinking cat ball on my head. So I was like, what? But it's amazing when you get that, and it proves me, you know, who's a little bit skeptical of it. When I seen them going the way they did in Ardgillan Castle. When you asked them to stop and then start again, and I said, just for validation. Well, it was brilliant, and we did do it live, and I know it was being recorded. Yes.
Another baller comes, so you know they can hear you. I definitely.
Well, that's it, Lulu. Yeah, and that room, and we got validation from the night watch guy there that later on that night. We did say, listen, this is one of our favorite rooms, and we even gave the room a name, but we're not going to say it. I'm not going to say that because it was the first time there. We will be going back. That he said, yeah, that's the room he doesn't like going into, but it's not a bad room. It's a bit of a sad room, and we were doing the Estes method in there. Louise did it, I did it, and Corey did it, and it's interesting to watch. It is interesting to watch. The videos will go up eventually. They will go up because we're still working on it. Corey and Louise are working on them, and I'm doing audio, but they will go up eventually. But they are interesting.
Do you think that, you know, just 2 things? One, just the comment there about them interacting. We've had that, you know, 2 Christmases ago. Craig and I took over a wee toy train and a wee kind of angel doll to Loudon. Because we know there's kids there. Well, as far as we know, there's kids there. And so we left them and we said, these are for the kids, you know, it's Christmas time. Right. And so we went back in January, did an investigation, and I says, can you tell me what gifts we left for the kids, for the children? Right. And we came back to the necrophonic toy train and doll. And that was it. So this year, the Christmas past there, we took marbles. It was Sarah's idea to take marbles up. So we left marbles, and then we did the investigation there about a month and a half ago. We had 2 in 1 week, and we asked, I said, can you tell me the gifts we left for the kids? And we got toy train. But then we got marbles.
Oh my God. Is this from the necrophonic?
This was through the necrophonic.
Okay.
I think Laura picked up on her phone as well. And it's stuff like that. You think, well, that shows that somebody's there and they've seen what you've done. You know, they've seen what you've left and they recognize you and they remember, you know.
That's it. That's why I always say, go back to the same locations, go back to the same locations. And I remember someone saying to me, Jenny, people are going to get bored if you go back to the same locations. And I'm like, then don't bloody watch. Don't watch. We are doing, and I always say, not all things in history is written in books. You don't know all of the names. Some of them never made it into the books of history. So when we go to there, we would get certain people, certain names, certain children that would never made a book at all. Most of them didn't make a book apart from the big history stories. So the ones that we work on, or work with, if that makes sense, is the ones that we know. So we go back to the same location. So we, like I said, we treat them like family, even the ones who don't like you. But we always go in with respect. We say hi, we say goodbye, we say you must stay here, we will be back again. It's just like you said, going into somebody else's home.
Exactly. Yeah. You know, and it's good to go to different locations, you know.
Yeah.
But I think if you get, you want them to get to know exactly, you know, if you get a location that you're always getting activity and you feel you can build up, because it takes time to build up their trust.
It does. It really does. Yeah.
You can build up their trust. You're not wanting to be the biggest thing, the paranormal, right? We've proved the existence of life after death and blah, blah, blah. But these are people, you know, they're still people. You know, they may not have a physical body, but they're still who they were. And they had a life. They were somebody's mum, dad, brother, whoever. And they deserve to be remembered. And maybe they're just wanting somebody to talk to. And so if you can build up a relationship with them.
That's it. And you'll hear your name on a recorder and you'll say, you'll hear something like, "Here comes Jenny." This was in the museum and Alan had gone over ahead of me and I was laid over. And I was going to say, where's that pen coming from? Oh my God, I am freaked out tonight. I don't know why. I said, there's a pen coming into my screen. I'm bloody holding it. But they will say your name. Like, Toby, Toto. There's that cat again. I knew he was dead. But I remember being in Shane's Castle in County Antrim, and I remember a recording was sent to me, and I don't know if Roshan's still here, but a recording. Toby, hold on. A recording was sent to me, and we had left. Hold on. Just giving it to my cat. But we had left a recorder in the maid's tunnels, and when they had listened to it at the end, like a week later or something like that, and you can hear a female saying, "Here they come, here come the living," because you can hear her on the stones, on the gravel. You can hear us coming in, you can hear our voices muffled, but you hear a female saying, "Here they come, here come the living," which was bloody brilliant. Oh, that cat, I swear to God, see that one behind me? Yeah.
The two cats do the exact same thing. They do meow, meow, meow. And
Toby is bloody notorious for doing it. Notorious for doing it. But yeah, that one really, really got me, of that woman saying, "Here they come, here come the living." And I know Roshan was saying earlier on that those tunnels are evil, and they are, but there are one or two in it that are okay. Far and few between, but there are more. She's teasing him in the kitchen with food. Good girl,
do you think, I mean, I know a lot of people say, you know, that room's evil or negative. Do you think sometimes the frustration's mistaken for negativity?
Yep, I do. That was an example with excuse me. I'm just reading Lily's here. That's it. Yeah, that's true. That's why we keep going back to the same ones. So yeah, do people mistaken someone who doesn't understand too much for negativity? Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. We made that mistake before.
I think, you know, obviously, I mean, if you're in spirit, you know, I always compare it to the film Ghost. Remember the film Ghost with Patrick Swayze, God rest him? And, you know, he's learning how to flick, I think it's a can or something, you know, and he's getting annoyed at first because he can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Who's to say that's not exactly how it is? You know, you've got somebody's in spirit and they're trying to communicate, they're trying to tell you that they're there, but they're not doing a very good job yet, you know, because they've maybe not learned how to do it yet. And they're getting more frustrated, and people pick up on this frustration, think, oh, that's negative.
That happened to us as well in the museum. And I keep mentioning the museum because we've been doing that for many years. There was somebody, like a male in the kitchen area, and we could hear hissing. And we thought, and you could feel something heavy coming towards you. Myself and Alan would open up. You could feel something heavy walking towards you. And we left that area. And we always thought, you know, it was very negative. The language, the cursing, the giving out, the no, the F off, and the bitch. So we thought, right, he's a negative person. We had my friend from the UK, Tracy Day, over with us. Excuse me. And she said he has a speech impediment. So this that we're hearing was not hissing.
Mm-hmm.
And she was telling us about a woman who was abusing him in the, I forget the word that Neil had called it. It wasn't the stocks. It was like, you know, you put your arms through and your neck through. And I know Neil told me the proper word for it, but I forget. But he was like that. But she was abusing him. And I said, why would a woman back in those days would have the authority to abuse a man like this? So because the museum was like basically a British army fort, that it would have been one of the higher rank men that wife would give him permission to abuse this person.
Mm-hmm.
When we kind of copped onto that, when I was down there that afternoon, I said, you know, I apologize, you know, let's start again. You know, we didn't understand you. I know you got frustrated, but now we know. So now we're with you, we're on your side, we know what has happened. So when we listen to some audio, the audio matches with what the story was, and Tracy knew nothing about this kitchen area of the museum. Nothing. She didn't even know about the audio at all. And it matched to what she said. So yeah, the ones who you think they're malevolent or evil, they're not. Now, not all of them are, you know, that's the mistake. If someone tells you, you know, get the F out, you know, you probably might want to do that. But the ones who you just don't understand properly, work a little bit more with them, if that makes sense. Because we had to.
Aye, it makes total sense. As you say, you will get spirits that I'm not going to say evil or demonic, you know, all that stuff.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
we just weren't very nice people in this life, and you know they're not very nice on the other side. But as you say, Jerry, and I totally agree, you have to take the time to try and establish, you know, well, is this a badging, or is this just somebody who's frustrated that they can't get their words or their point across?
Right. Yeah, yeah. And only for Tracy telling us, we would never have known. We'd always think that he was a bad man, or he was a, you know, angry man with us. And I know, like I've said it on shows before, the longer you're in the paranormal world, the longer you're working at it and doing it, the more you open yourself up. The more you open yourself up to things, if that makes any sense. And I have noticed in the last few years, when I get a name, I say the names. And I know we've been on locations before, and I'm coming out with like 10 different names, you know, sometimes. And I was like, Jenny, I got a little crazy again tonight. But some of the names have came true. So there's a particular name for this man in the kitchen. There's a particular name for the girl in the museum. And, you know, I do come out with some names. Now, and there's one on a live where I came out with a name. And then Alan said, look at the stand you're standing beside. It was the man's second wife name that I called out, which I never knew he was married second time around.
Mm-hmm.
Or anything like that, you know. So the names would come to me. And it's a bit funny some nights because I get about 3 or 4 different names. And I know it sounds crazy, but I come out with 3 or 4 different names. But one of them will bloody come out. One of them will come true. But most of it now in that location, names have came right, if that makes sense. It came right.
It does make sense. I mean, you know, long story short, I mean, when we first started, we were going to meet people, and in the morning I went to Tesco. I told this in a show last week, but I kept getting the name Isabella in my head for some reason. Isabella, and it's not exactly a normal Glaswegian name,
right?
You know, Isabella.
Yeah.
And so, when we meet these people, we say, how's your day been? I say, well, I was in Tesco alone and kept getting Isabella in my head. And I was one of the lasses there says, Isabella was my grand's name. And I've been wanting her to come through to me for a long time.
God. Okay.
But it was annoying me because, who the hell was Isabella?
I always say something. If you have something in your head, say it. Even if it's bloody crazy or you think it's stupid, but it's not. Say it, no matter what it is.
Because it could mean something, maybe no there and then, but it could mean something weeks or months down the line. But I think we've been investigations and some of the team have picked up, myself included, that there's somebody standing right behind us. There's a guy he's standing right, and you turn around and you're expecting to see this guy standing there, but there's nobody there, obviously.
Yeah.
Well, there is, but you can't see him.
Right.
But you just get the strong feeling. And I always say, I want your opinion on this, Jerry. I'm watching the time, don't worry. It's you can investigate as much as you want with as much equipment as you want, blah, blah, blah. See, at the end of the day, if spirit doesn't want to talk to you, you'll get nothing.
You won't. You really won't, no matter how much you try. I know I've been to a location beside the Boyne River, which is one of the famous rivers in Ireland, one of the famous rivers in Ireland. And I'm looking at my dog behind me there. She's looking at me. And it's a beautiful Boyne River old house, stunning, definitely history in it. I've been there before 5 times. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Just nothing. It's gorgeous inside. The kitchen is fabulous. It's all in the ruins. But it's breathtaking. It's stunning. And you have to go through 2 fields to walk to it. But nothing is from it. Like, we've been to locations for many, many years. And if they don't want to talk to you, they just won't. I know myself and Lily and the team have been sitting there for about 2 or 3 hours, say, and you're just not going to get a lot. But that's okay. We take that. Of course, we have no choice. We take it. We're not going to say, oh my God, it was so quiet tonight. It was shit. No, we went as arranged and we got nothing. And that's okay. That is okay. We get it.
I mean, I know there's teams out there, that expect every investigation, you have to get something. And it's good to get something, but even if you've been out, and we've all done it, yourself included, we went to locations, sat for 3 or 4 hours, had absolutely nothing, maybe a flicker of a cat ball, that's it. But you've still had a good night because you're out doing what you love, basically.
And you have to understand, like you were saying, like when you go out every night, you're not going to go out expecting to get something. You're great if you get, if you get something. And also there's recorders. Well, we use recorders all the time. So what we don't get with our ears, we'll probably get something on the recorder. We'll get faint footsteps, or we'll get faint whispering that we didn't hear on the night. So when we go back to that location again, saying, listen, we heard you saying something, could you tell us, and so on and so on. We carry on with that. But you go through your recorders. But that's it. That's just exactly what I said. I think that's Lulu. That's exactly, we think the same. See, that's why we work together, because we think the same. If that is Lulu, that you go through the audio, and like whoever, just Lulu, if you get a treat on review.
You do. We've the same as yourself. We did quite a lot. Listen back to that. Well, we didn't hear that, and we didn't hear that.
But
that's clear as well. And I think maybe part of the reason is because
Louise, we think the same.
On the investigation, you're focused on what you're doing, but you're listening. This will sound nuts, right? But just go with me. You're listening, but you're no listening. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You could be in a room, say like castle, and you're in a particular, dining room, whatever.
Right.
And you're investigating and you're kind of listening, but you're not listening to every corner of that room.
Totally. I understand. It's kind of like surrounded in a bubble kind of thing. Right. I got you. Yeah.
So you could be standing at the fireplace where, you're teaming that and you're investigating, you're listening. But there could be a wee guy standing there in the corner, flicking his fingers. And you can't hear it because you're that focused on what you're doing.
Totally.
And that one bit. And so you hear it when you play it back, you think, What's that?
That's what we do. And me and Louise, like I know Louise work nights sometimes, so that's great. When I'm up doing audio, Louise is up as well. And she's doing audio when she's working sometimes, and then I'm doing audio. So we can correspond or check, who was X, Y, Z where, because we'll always know where somebody was.
Mm-hmm.
And so we can correspond with that and who was walking or who was talking. And like I know Corey had put up a video on the WhatsApp team group, and it was a good video. It was a good video. Louise debunked it, but it was a good video. It was a good video.
The good thing is you were able to debunk it. People,
Yeah.
The good thing, it's a good video, but it's good that you debunked it, because anybody watching it and seeing you, well, they debunked it. They didn't just jump on I call it the paranormal wagon. That's paranormal.
Yeah.
That's paranormal.
Oh, Lordy, completely. And that's what we love to do. We love to debunk. And it was me. I was holding a photograph. So when the door was opened, you'll see someone at the very bottom of the stairs kind of looking out but looking in. But when you see that, you'll see me turning at the same way, and that shadow is looking back in. So it was me and my photograph that it's a kind of like a big photograph that I was holding. So you'll see me running like that, and the shadow goes with the photograph. So it was just me. Yeah.
As I said earlier on, people kind of respect you more. And I think if you debunk more, people watch you more.
So when you really get something,
they know that you're not faking it.
Right, it's legit. Yeah.
Aye.
So we could put that video up as an example of debunking that what we thought was a shadow, it's just me at the top bedroom and the stairs going down, and it's just me turning around, and you'll see the shadow is going the same way as I'm turning.
Because I know myself, if I was following a team and they kept debunking, I would keep following them. They keep debunking.
They're legit. Yeah, I get you. Yeah, they're legit and they're genuine.
And one day they're going to hit the jackpot, whatever you want to call it.
That's it. The audio that we have, it's phenomenal. And I know people say it's if no one can understand your audio, it's not really there. And I'm like, no. The audio that we have, we can understand.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Lulu, we can understand. And we do have to explain them sometimes, but not a lot of them that we have to explain. Not a lot. But there's one or two crucial ones that I've been doing audio for more years than I can bloody remember. And it's like a pin ear. And I know someone said, if not everybody can understand your audio, scrap it. And that for me, I thought, no, I'm not bloody scrapping my audio, because I know what's being said. And not everybody has an ear for audio. We hear it differently. People hear it differently. Some will get it, some won't get it. But there's two pieces of audio that I have that I have to explain them, because they're very... I know when I heard the first one, I could make it out. When I heard the second one, I could make it out until we kind of break it down a little bit. And you can get a name in it.
Mm-hmm.
But I hear it. And I know a few other people that they listen to it, and I had to explain it to them a little bit. They hear it. And I know that sounds like power of suggestion. But I get to the point that I won't explain them anymore and let them people, it's not any audio that I have put up. I think I have one of them put up, but the second one I won't be putting up. It will just be privately sent to people, if.
Usually people hear different things. We've done it ourselves. We've sat here, playing audio back, and Sarah will hear one thing, Laura will hear something, and I'll be sitting there and with that. Don't hear it. I can't, and they say, can you not hear that? So, no.
Yeah, that's me.
I can't hear that. Or I'll hear something totally different. They might hear loaf of bread and I'll hear number 9 lists. Do you know what I mean?
Ear paranoia.
Exactly. So we don't always see the same thing, but it's when you get those crystal clear ones that you don't need to explain to people. You say, well, listen to this, and they say, aye, that definitely says, aye.
Yeah.
And they can repeat back.
Yeah.
What you've heard, you know what I mean? But I'm going to wind up there though, because that's an hour and 40 minutes we've been on. I don't know how long your shows run for actually.
Mine normally go for 2 hours. Sometimes 2 hours. I know the last round table I did, not the one gone last time. The one before that was 3 hours. We just all got talking.
That's what happens. But I will bring you back again. Don't worry, Flo. I will.
Definitely. Yeah, I'd love to come back on. We'll grab Lulu on with us.
Because we always have a good wee natter shall we
I
say.
know. There's always
So,
something going on.
You promised me something earlier on.
Oh, feck, did I? Oh, Lord Jesus. Okay.
Remember, you said the more you listen to me, the better you'll get, or whatever it was.
Okay, what do you want me to say in Spanish? And I'll try and say it. You'll make me
Oh,
correct.
no. You need to say, you need to come up with your own thing. You need to, well, say, the sunshine was beautiful today in Glasgow.
Oh, that's a lot.
All right, say it's a sunny day in Scotland. How's that? That's the best I can do.
Lord, okay. Okay, no, if I get it wrong, do not, because
That's right.
you're making me like it's a
No,
hot.
if you get it wrong, it's totally fine. At least you've tried.
The only one I know is like the this is the one I tried to say the last time and I couldn't say it properly. The moose. No, you still can't say it. There are moose loose about this house. What was the sentence that you told me to say?
Just now, it was. What did I actually say? It was sunny in Glasgow. Say it was sunny in Glasgow.
Sunny in Glasgow.
That's actually not too bad. It's a lot better than it was before.
I know. The first one was like, and it was my same sentence. There's a moose loose about this house.
I think everybody, whenever you ask somebody to say, that's the first, there's a moose loose about this house.
That's all I know. That's from the ads. There's a moose loose about this house.
I think that's the most common one, they'll say iron brew, get some of your iron brew. Stuff like that, but it's when you complicate it, you say it was a sunny day in Glasgow.
Oh Lord, it's a sunny day in Glasgow.
No,
I can't say it. I'll make an arse out of it.
No, you done all right there. I'll give you an 8 out of 10 for that one.
An 8 out of 10? Well, that's not bad.
That's not bad, because the last time I think it was a 2.
Oh, listen, I was lucky to get a 2 the last one I did, because that was
I was in a good mood that night.
Really? So now I got an 8 out of 10, so that's okay. That's okay. I'll keep practicing on it. I know it's a friend of mine, and I can get his accent. He's Scottish as well. Oh, Jenny. That's the one I can get. That's the only one I know. Aye, oh, Jenny.
Whereabouts in Scotland, Sifi?
Lancashire.
Lancashire.
That's the one, yeah. That's the one. Aye, that's the one. But that's the only one. That's the only thing I know. That's it. Moose loose about
You get, see, that one was a lot better. That's an 8 out of 10. So that's a vast improvement on last time performance. So keep building it, keep practicing, practice in front of a mirror every day, every morning you got.
Aye, I will now, yeah. It's a sunny day in Glasgow.
Aye, that's so I'm old Auntie Mary. It's some day in Glasgow a day, son, wasn't it? It was hell of a Greek.
I practice every day in front of my mirror. Oh, Jenny. It's a sunny day in Glasgow.
But she's getting there, folks. She's getting there. So where can people find you?
Oh, Emerald Isle Paranormal Researchers, YouTube, Emerald Isle Paranormal Researchers, Facebook, Emerald Isle Paranormal Researchers is a private page, but if you request it, we'll let you in. Shadow Whispers in the Night, Emerald Isle Paranormal Researchers on TikTok, Twitter.
So just about everywhere, basically.
Yes. And if you can't see us, you'll hear us somewhere.
She'll be about
folks.
I'll keep a hold of you for a wee second after we come off, though. So a big thanks to Jen for coming in. We'll see her again.
Thank you so much for having me on.
It's always a pleasure. We didn't have a topic or so, though. We just talk.
We just talk. The Scottish and Irish, we just talk.
Aye, just because that's all we can do is talk. It's one of our greatest gifts. But we'll wind it up there, folks. So thanks everybody who came in to the chat as well, and all your comments, etc., etc. And we shall talk to you again very soon. So enjoy the rest of your evening. Well, no, there's very much left there, but you know what I mean. Wherever you are, your evening, your afternoon, whatever time of day it is, take care. Thanks, Lulu Doll. So we'll see you later on. Bye. Bye.
Night.